Traders, welcome back to the channel. We're gonna do the daily rundown. So I'm gonna get right into these stocks. I have quite a few. It's not a top three. It's more like 5 to 6. A lot of stocks that I'm very excited about. I do believe we had a retracement on the economy and the market the past 3 to 4 days, and now we're looking to move back up. If you don't know, earnings season is upon us, and it's looking absolutely beautiful. Let's not waste any more time. Like, subscribe. I do this specific video every single day, Monday through Friday. Let's get to it. So looking at CrowdStrike, I'm not being greedy. CrowdStrike is the first pick, as you may know already, that this is going to be the first pick going into tomorrow. And I want to highlight that I don't want to be greedy with any of these plays. I do believe going into next week, we see very strong moves, but I'm not being greedy. A lot of times we see when I'm pointing these plays out specifically, you're getting pretty quick moves either to the upside or to the downside. So the profits to take on options are going to be pretty quick, and that implied volatility is going to kick in. So once you start getting those big jumps, that's usually when I start to get in or to get out of that position specifically. So I do want to see a push going up to about the 217 range. That's going to be on the high end. Now, if I'm looking on the short end to take profits very quickly, if we get that immediate movement that we're kind of talking about right now, I'm only looking for a push up to this range right here, close to the 212, 213. We did end the day at the downside, so that's worth noting. We're not at 209. We're a little bit above about 210, give or take, and so that'd be about a $3 move, which is totally viable going into tomorrow. I do believe money continues to flow into tech tomorrow, so there is a possibility we start to gap up, and if we gap up above this range, what I would look for is a push back down potentially, and then a push up to potentially 217 going into the week. I'd probably get call options going to next week just to be safe. I'm only grabbing, to Fridays if I'm very confident in that play, or it's a very quick play to get in and to get out. So that's going to be stuff I mentioned specifically in the Discord Patreon link down below if you want to see that. Number 2 pick, looking at tomorrow. Now again, it's worth noting that I'm not looking for major run-ups. I'm just looking for a quick $2 to $3 move on most of these plays. Boeing will most likely get a bigger move just because of the way the stock actually tends to get a reaction on the stock. So what we've seen is a local double bottom that's currently going on right now, and that's why I'm overall pretty excited. I'm not seeing a complete move back up to 244 or anything like that. Again, I'm just looking for some quick profits and a quick touch of the local support and resistances, right? So I'd like to see a 240 potentially down. I'd be willing to move it down to about 239 at 64, 239.60 range there, because I know when we get to those resistances, typically we get rejected very quickly. So you're gonna want to be pretty vigilant, have your alerts set. If you have those available, TradingView does offer those as well. They're pretty, and that is free. So on TradingView you can only have one alert at a time on the free plan. So I recommend taking that into account. So that's what I'm looking at specifically here. I don't know why this VWAP is showing up like this. That is messed up, but it is actually mounting VWAP from my chart that I use on TradingView. I'm using Bazinga right now just because it's easier to show for the videos. So right now we are getting that mount, and we're getting somewhat of a flag. So that's why I'm not too strong on this per se, but I do want to see continued movement back up to the upside, and I do see that happening because we don't really have any resistance or support in this local range that we're at, and we haven't had a retest of this key level up there. So 240, 239 is where I'll be looking for tomorrow. Number 3 is going to be Chewy, and this is going to be one of the last ones. The last time I talk about is going to be something that I'm pretty excited about being a swing trade as well. So looking at Chewy, we're hitting this local bottom. We talked about this a lot in the Discord. This is one of my favorite actual stocks to trade based on the volatility it gets and how it follows the Nasdaq overall. So this is one of those stocks I'm always keeping my eye on, right? So we're maintaining, you can see here, just multiple times touching and bouncing, touching and bouncing, touching and bouncing. Now, so what we're seeing right now on the short-term time frame and what we're seeing, right? So we're seeing we're making higher lows, trending up, and then just sitting at the resistance. So going into tomorrow, I want to see somewhat of a gap up, and then I want to see slow movement back up to this potentially 86 range. Now, let's say we open up a little bit on the more stagnant side, let's say like 80, under 81. I would only want to see a test of maybe 83.5, low 83s. I wouldn't be pushing it too much. So the first stock we're going to look at is actually going to be Funko Pop. Now, this isn't going to be more of a day trade. I just want to highlight this stock as being such a good swing trading stock. I've mentioned them quite a bit as being the safest and most likely the best long-term as far as NFT plays go. If you don't know what Funko Pop is, they have their little bobblehead type toys. They've become really big in every single household in here in America. So I recommend you look into these guys. I want to get to the chart here for a sec just to show you some targets that I have. Now, I want to show the chart because we were testing a key range that I had marked out. And we came back and tested this 1913, 1880 range, give or take. And now we're breaking back above. And if you look, we're getting that nice flag that we love to see. So if you just go down do your trading, do a parallel channel. It's really nice and easy to draw. You can see we're getting that bull flag, right? It looks like we're about to start getting another break to that upside, potentially moving back up. Now, giving the exact targets, it's really hard with Funko Pop, but I don't believe they've really released that key news that's really going to push them over the top. But as the market continues to have this upside, I definitely see Funko Pop continuing this run up. And each time it starts to, have this consolidation back on the downside, as you see, it typically starts breaking back up and makes new highs. So I'm not saying we go to $30, but that has been the ultimate goal since I started talking about them. When the first time I talked about them, they were sitting at about 19, 21, give or take. Since then, we've had a really nice run, and I do believe $30 is on the table for this stock, potentially even higher. We've seen a lot of big NFT runs. We've seen Funko continue to beat earnings as well, even without these key points. So this isn't really a day trade. I want to highlight that as well. Now, so when you're watching this, you might say, Tyler, these are only $2 or $3 moves, but if you're trading options, you can make quite a bit on these trades if they move quick enough, and that's why I'm targeting these specific stocks. Going into yesterday, just a little bit of a recap. We did have Apple move down to about low 230s, 230, like high 230s to low 231. So that was worth it there. Piton didn't get that initial movement, so I didn't enter. And then NGTF, if you don't know an NGTF, I recommend you look at that one really quick as well. So I mentioned these guys yesterday, and with NGTF, they just had the deal with Walmart. They're 49 cents currently. I recommend you take a look at the stock. They're getting that break above 48, and they're holding above 49 right now. This is looking very strong, like we're going to start getting that breakout to the upper, 60-cent range. Potentially, it could happen. You guys are always asking for penny plays, so I recommend you take a look at these guys. Real news going on. They're pushed out to 1,000 stores here in America now with Walmart specifically. Their brand is literally going to be pushed out to thousands of customers. We can see the stock really start to take off pretty soon, but that's going to wrap up the watch list. If you got anything out of this, make sure you leave a like down below or subscribe. Do what you got to do. If you have any questions, please comment down below. I'll try to answer as quickly as possible. Chances are I might not see it though. I'm going to be posting this pretty late, as I do post these usually pretty late because they're about the end of my day as I'm finishing up my watch list and stuff like that. So have a good one. Hope you got something out of this. I'll see you guys tomorrow.